Yeah, when I was in Albany, 74, 75, something like that, you get to hear little stories about people. And we was talking about a guy that was in Parkhurst, or was in Parkhurst, or whatever, a guy called Roy Shaw. And we was talking about the things he used to do. He used to take doors off, rip doors off of a cell. And there was the old-fashioned door, not the ones they got now in Albany's and them sort of prisons, not modern prisons. You can't take them doors off, but the old-fashioned doors he used to take off for it. Powerful, man. Powerful as they come. Then I used to hear about him knocking so many screws out, knocking cons out. Everyone was petrified of him, giving him big respect. He could get anything he wanted, food. Everybody cooked for him. They just loved him, mate. He was always running around the prison. Very, very fit man. In the gym all the time on the bag, and he just become too powerful and too much trouble for them to handle. So they shipped him to Broadmoor, and obviously, so people think Broadmoor is what a nutty place, a bad place to be in. It's like dangerous. But Broadmoor's a lot better than a prison actually, because Broadmoor is a hospital prison, but Broadmoor is a place where you get a hospital, you got more things from hospital. You get out, let out a lot more. You get more food, you get more visits. You associate with women and all that. Yeah, seriously. So it can be a good place. Yeah, but there is the bad side to it. If you start taking too many liberties in there, and you would get largatual, you would get jabbed up largatual and all that. You would get done, mate. And it doesn't matter who you are. If they jab you up or dart you up, it's only a law of averages that you're going to go over, and they will batter you. Yeah, and it's not nice jab. I've had it lots of times, and it's a really painful jab. Yeah, it's really painful, and you're aware. Sometimes they pump so much into you that it knocks you right out, and you wake up in hours or days later. That's what it's like, yeah. And so you wake up maybe in a pool of piss or a pool of poo. That is what it's like, yeah. So obviously, when Roy was in Parkhurst, you get to hear when I was in Albany what it was like in other prisons. He was an handful, bashing up screws, bashing up cons. He didn't like being sent to Broadmoor, but when he was there, he met other people, the Crays and bits and pieces like that. So I think it was Reggie he met, or Ronnie he met. I think it was Ronnie he met in Broadmoor. So or was it Reggie? I'm not quite sure which one it was actually. But his life changed when he went to Broadmoor. He become an animal, mate. He become a schizophrenic psychopath animal, mate. He was like, they just couldn't control him. He was in the gym a lot. He trained 24/7. He walked about with his bit of a stroll around, a bit of a bounce, and no one would get near him. He was a pain, mate. He would just bash up people. Then he moved to another nick. I'm not quite sure if he moved to Durham, was it, or somewhere, doing the same thing and bashing screws up there and all that. He was a real handful, Roy Shaw. And when he got out, they got to hear about Lily McLean. He must have heard more. But mind you, when you say they got to hear about Lily McLean, it was only Frankie Warren that pushed Lenny McLean really forward, yeah. Because Frankie Warren and Lenny McLean are cousins. I've always said it before, but Frankie Warren pushed Lenny, pushed Lenny forward. Wanted him, he wanted Lenny to make him, and as I say, Lenny made Frankie Warren, and Frankie Warren made Lenny. But Frankie Warren made a load of people that was boxing in shows. He made them, Frank, because Frank was involved with the papers. So the papers took videos, yeah. The papers took photographs, whereas all us other people promoted fights, like Joe Pyle, Jimmy Tibbet. There was quite a load of people that never had the cameras, never had the videos, never had all that. Yeah, so you didn't see a lot of their fights. Like my fights, you didn't see a lot. Only ones you see was like down box on, and them sort of places. And my one, Acton Town Hall. I mean, I had 2 shows at Acton Town Hall, and they were both put on video. So I'm trying to get hold of the videos, and it's virtually impossible. 1980, this was. So I'm still trying to get hold of it. It's hard because you can't get it off the council. The council are no longer there, and it's, you know, my other mates in Africa, and I can't get hold of him, Bob Coleman. You know, so, you know, it's really hard for me. Tony Wilson, my other mate, he's trying to get hold of to Bob Coleman for me to see if I can get hold of the video there. I'd love to get hold of that and show you all on YouTube the videos. Yeah, it was really, really good. It's packed. My 2 shows I had were packed, and they were good. Yeah, good shows. But as I said, I tried to get Roy Shaw on the show. I tried to get Lenny McLean on the show. They didn't want to know. They wanted silly money. I don't know why. You know what I mean? Because they just wanted silly money. I think Roy and Lenny wanted something like 3 or 4 grand to come on my show. You know, and I'm paying other people £300. You know what I mean? So they're wanting 3 or 4 grand. So what's so special about them? You know what I mean? So I went, nah, you're not that special, mate. You know what I mean? You ain't no world champions. You're an unlicensed fighter. So they wanted all that, you know. Then, but as a Roy, he was proper, mate. When I see him down at Beckett, the day I see him down at Beckett, I was with Jimmy Tibbett, and you know, he was sparring with Colombo, Steve Richards, and Steve was all right with him. Steve was just playing around with him, backhand his ear, as he does. Then he got in with Lloyd Wolfram. Lloyd Wolfram was a good banger. He hurt Roy, he shook Roy up a bit, Lloyd Wolfram. And then I wanted to get in there, but I said no, you know. But the next time I come, I got in with Roy, and he bashed me up, mate. Yeah, he bashed me up. Not bashed me up like, you know, knocked me out, but he like I couldn't lay a glove on him. He was like over me like a rash. He was just punching, and the Beckett ring is about half the size of a normal ring, yeah? And so you can't go nowhere. You're trapped, you know, and he's just come towards you throwing punches. I'd only just got back into the fighting game. I've sparred with quite lots of pros, you know, but after it takes a bit of time to get better, you're a bit rusty. And about 2 months after that, I got in the ring with him again, and I just played with him, you know, I just knocked him around. It takes a bit of time for all that to come back. It's like muscle. It's as similar as muscle memory, isn't it? It all comes back, you know, and it come back, and yeah. Then you know, I was there when he fought Donnie Adams. I went down and see that. You know, that was crazy fight. You know what I mean? And then he fought Lenny McLean. I didn't see Lenny fight. I'd love to have seen that fight. And so there was a lot of trouble with Lenny, Roy Shaw, and Donnie Adams, you know. But I think myself personally that Bartley Gorman, they swerved him, mate. They swerved Bartley Gorman. Lenny was about the same size as Bartley. Bartley was about 15'10". Lenny wasn't no more then than Bartley, mate. Bartley Gorman. No, he wasn't no heavier than what he was. Roy Shaw wasn't no heavier than what Bartley was either. I think that their managers, Frankie Warren and Joe Paul, knew that Bartley Gorman was going to be the governor. Would have beat them, yeah, and to beat them at that time, that would have ruined it. It would have ruined the whole boxing part of it, the unlicensed fighting. Because as I say, Roy Shaw and Joe Paul were the business together. Frankie Warren and Lenny McLean were the business together. Really, those two, Roy Shaw, Lenny McLean, and obviously so Joe Paul and Frankie Warren, they made the unlicensed boxing. They made it. But Donnie Adams and Roy Shaw was really the first ones that really, really made it. Lenny was just nothing then. I don't think Lenny had any fights then. He was just training then. He was wrapped around Frankie Warren, and then he was going to fight Roy Shaw. He fought Roy Shaw, and then Roy Shaw beat him. I've not seen that first fight ever. I don't even think it actually exists. Yeah, I've never seen it. If anybody's seen it, try and get it on YouTube so we can watch it. Yeah, a good fight, that fight. Boy bashed him up bad, and after that, Lenny just mullered him. Yeah. I don't. You might find this a bit funny me saying it, but I don't trust. I don't trust anybody with money. Yeah, and I don't trust anybody who wants to get someone to go forward more. And Frankie Warren and Lenny McLean, he wanted him to go to the tops, and Joe Pyle, wanted Roy to go to tops, but one of them was taking a bribe, mate. I think when I see Lenny hitting Roy Shaw about 30 times across the ropes, I thought it was a get up. Personally, I thought it was a get up. Yeah, I did. I thought it was a get up. I thought no man could take that punishment and still stand up. You know what I mean? But anyway, he did, Lenny. I thought it was a get up. I thought Lenny. I thought that. I thought Joe Pyle and Frankie Warner got together and said, but this goes on to crash, and wanted Lenny to go to the front like Lenny did, and he did. He did. It made him the governor. He wasn't the governor. They made him out to be governor. He wasn't the governor. The governor was either Clifffields. It could have even been. I could have been near there. I was fighting, mate. I had quite a lot of fights, I mean, and I was winning fights, knocking them out. And when Lenny seen me fight Brian Hall at the Rainbow, at the box on video, he was saying he couldn't believe it, mate. He was gay. He was like sick. You could see. He said to me, I could have knocked him out. I said, well, whatever, mate. You know what I mean? I want to fight you. I said, well, see my mate Jimmy Tibbett, my trainer, and talk to him. But it never happened. It never happened. I was a spar with Lenny, but it never happened. It never happened. I was at 2 shows with Lenny that would never fought me. But listen, what was the point of fighting someone that's going to give you a good fight and maybe beat you? You know what I mean? So they don't want that. And it was the same with Kevin Paddock. I've said it before, this. I don't want us to go through it all over again. But Kevin Paddock beat Lenny easy. I drew with Kevin Paddock. I drew with Sid Paddock. Both good fighters. Kevin Menton's not going to beat Lenny easy. Sid Paddock, he's fought so many people, Sid. He was a good heavyweight, Sid. I mean, I know Gardner beat him. I know Gardner stopped him, John Gardner, but he did Paul Sykes. But, actually, to me, Paul Sykes was a fantastic fighter, mate. If he'd have got really into the unlicensed boxing, he'd have been up there, mate. He'd have been there somewhere, because he weren't a bad pro. And the only thing that ruined him, what happens, mate, is we're all the same. We're all the same. I don't drink yet, but I'm saying, when you go in prison and you want to keep yourself together, mate, and you're doing Big Bird, you got to train. If you train, you're going to get cut up to anything, you're going to get as strong as ever. Wishaw, powerful, man, powerful in the weights, big weights, powerhouse, back in the bag, smashing the bag to pieces. Roy was a powerhouse, mate. Well, but I mean, you got if it like, just look at Roy. He was short, and could fight, you know what I mean, and can really put it together, mate, you know what I mean. And Paul Sykes, I mean, the rumours are that Paul Sykes beat Roy in 10 seconds and 15 seconds. I don't believe that. I believe he might have beat him, but I don't believe he beat him in that sort of time. But he was a different fighter, Paul Sykes. Different fighter. But the only thing that ruined Paul Sykes was drink. And it's like, everybody know Paul. We go to a pub, everybody, what happens, buys you a drink, everybody buys you a drink, you drink, and you get it, and all of a sudden you become addicted, you become mad on drink, crazy, and he was a good fighter, Paul Sykes. I like Paul. He put a lot into it, mate. When he fought John Gardner, he put a lot into that fight, believe me, he didn't turn his back on John Gardner. I watched the fight. He never turned the back. He turned to the side, and the referee stopped it. But he was going to stop it anyway, the ref. Paul Sykes was taking too much stick. He was going to stop that fight, regardless of what him turning him around like he did to the side. He was going to stop it anyway. The ref, he was just taking too much stick, Paul Sykes, and not returning any punches. Yeah, but and then Roy, I used to like always hear about Roy Shaw, and I used to see him because I used to go to Chigwell quite a lot to see my mate Mickey. Because I used to go to Chigwell, I used to come off the M25 right by near where Roy Shaw lives, yeah. And when I used to leave, I used to come down the M25 right by Roy Shaw lived. He lived opposite the Jewish cemetery, yeah. Yeah, I used to see quite a lot. I was seeing him run around Epping Forest, running along the roads and all that, going with his dogs and all that. He was fit. But then I heard he got stabbed. He got stabbed up by some punk rocker at a club, or he was someone stabbed him up bad, and then he went downhill after that. Yeah, but Roy Shaw, you look at Roy Shaw's some of his videos. They're good on YouTube. Some of the Roy Shaw's videos are good, mate. He's just a nice guy. I like Roy. Anyway, and I like Joe Pyle. I love Joe Pyle. When I was in Albany, I was in with a pal of mine, Mickey Francis. Took me to meet Joe Pyle. And when I was up there, took me to Joe Pyle's pub. Joe Pyle had a big ring in there. Joe Pyle won a bad fight, He can fight Joe Pyle, And I see Roy Shaw there, and all that, and then they got involved with training John Binden for the McLean fight. Anyway, forget about that. All that later. Bang bang.